Have you ever tried so hard to bring in more luck and wealth and ended up just feeling hot, tired, and more broke than before? Yeah, that was Teresa this summer. She thought wearing red would ignite her luck. Red for confidence, red for power, red for that "I'm ready to be rich" energy. But what she didn't know is that in Feng Shui, wearing too much red in summer can actually burn through your lucky flow. It doesn't attract wealth. It overheats your energy. And when fire goes unchecked, it melts clarity, drains your money focus, and leaves you wondering why you're snapping at your own kid over ice cream. This episode is about the Feng Shui mistake most people never think about, because it's sitting right in your closet. From color to season to energy balance, this one's not just about style. It's about the subtle ways your wardrobe might be sabotaging your wealth. So if you've ever felt like money comes in but never stays, like you're doing the work but still feel out of sync, like your space, your energy, even your mood feels too much, then this video was made for you. If this kind of wisdom speaks to you, if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right and things still won't flow, thank you for being here. Feel free to hit like, subscribe, or drop a comment below. It helps YouTube know you're part of this quiet shift. And we'd love to hear how your space speaks. Teresa's journey begins with something small. Just a blouse. Just a color. Just a feeling she couldn't explain. Let's start there. Not all energy slips in like a breeze. Some crawls in like heat, quiet at first, then heavy, then everywhere. And when that happens, luck doesn't leave with a bang. It just melts away. Teresa didn't mean to throw her Feng Shui off. She just wanted to feel strong again. Spring had drained. Her sales were slow. Her kid got sick twice. The car needed repairs. By June, her whole body felt tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. So she started reaching for red. Not once or twice, but every single day. Red lipstick, red top, red nails. It wasn't vanity. It was survival. Red made her feel like she still had fire in her. And for a while, it worked. She felt sharp, in control, even kind of magnetic. But 2 weeks in, the spark started turning into static. Her sleep got light. Her patience got thin. Her house felt hot even when the air conditioner was on. And her money? It came in with noise and left without a trace. Something in the energy had shifted, but nothing in the house had changed, except the color on her back. In Feng Shui, red belongs to the fire element. It's strong, active, bold. But in summer, the season ruled by fire, you're already surrounded by yang energy. That means heat, motion, speed, and intensity are naturally high. When you add red on top of that, you're not just boosting your energy. You're burning it out. Too much fire makes the home feel sharp. It raises the heart rate, scatters attention, and quietly melts your lucky flow. You don't attract wealth that way. You chase it, sweat for it, and still feel like you're falling behind. And worst of all, you can't see it from the outside, but your energy feels like it's cooking from the inside out. The walls felt louder. The mirror felt aggressive. The mornings felt like rush hour before she even left the bedroom. Teresa thought red would hold her together. She didn't realize it was pushing her apart. Every day started feeling rushed, even when she had time. She got annoyed by music she used to love. Her kid's voice, her partner's questions. Even her own thoughts, everything felt like a push. She wasn't angry. She was overstimulated. Red kept her in go mode when all she wanted was to feel settled. By the third week, she was going through the motions, still wearing the red, still telling herself it was just summer. But deep down, her inner world was overheating, and her outer world was starting to show the cracks. You can't create wealth by cranking up your energy every day. You hold it by knowing when to let the system cool. Think of a pot of tea on a stove. The heat boils the water. At first, it's comforting steam, warmth, flavor. But if you keep the burner on full, the water doesn't turn richer. It just evaporates. That's what happens when red dominates your wardrobe during the hottest part of the year. The power you wanted to call in gets boiled out before it can ever land. Feng Shui isn't about intensity. It's about harmony. And fire, unchecked, doesn't build. It burns. Teresa wasn't trying to study Feng Shui. She just wanted a better week. She found the missing clue while scrolling Pinterest on a Sunday night. One post read, "Red increases mental activity and body heat. Too much fire energy causes restlessness, insomnia, and emotional spikes." That line made her stop. Everything finally made sense. She didn't need more spark. She needed grounding, a way to feel calm without turning down her light. The next morning, she picked a soft white blouse. No red, no statement, just ease. She placed a small clay bowl by her front door with smooth stone's earth element to balance the fire. She swapped her red lipstick for soft rose. She didn't throw anything away. She just paused the fire, and something in the room shifted. The light felt gentler. The air moved. The tension in her shoulders eased. That day, she still handled money, still ran errands, still worked hard. But none of it felt like pushing. It felt like flowing again. And later that night, she fell asleep real. Actual sleep. Not the kind where you wake up more tired than before. Her daughter peeked into the bedroom. "You're not wearing red today?" Teresa smiled without turning. "Not today. Today, I'm letting the lucky flow catch its breath. Red's great. Unless you start feeling like you're the one being cooked. Money doesn't like pressure. It stays where the energy feels clear." Sometimes energy overload doesn't come from one big thing. It comes from stacking tiny signals until your space, your body, and your cash flow all feel too wired to land. Teresa didn't just stop at red shirts. She doubled down. Red lips for confidence. Red nails for power. Red earrings because they popped on camera. She told herself it was cohesive, intentional, stylish. But the truth? Every layer started to feel heavier. By mid-July, she couldn't finish one task before jumping to the next. Conversations blurred. Emails felt like shouting. Even her food didn't taste right. Something about her rhythm was off. And the more she dressed up, the more drained she felt inside. It wasn't about beauty anymore. It was about static cloud, restless, fast-moving static. The red wasn't lifting her. It was leaking her energy. In Feng Shui, every item you wear holds energy. Red nails equals fire. Red lips equals fire. Red jewelry equals fire. And when you stack themes specially in a fire-heavy season like summer, you don't just express yourself, you ignite your whole energetic field. The body starts reacting like it's in a survival state. Hot skin, racing thoughts, no grounding. The home picks up on that too. Cash energy scatters. Your wealth flow starts slipping through cracks you didn't even know were there. Feng Shui isn't anti-red. It's anti-overload. Everything started to feel faster, but not in a good way. Faster days, faster spending, faster burnout, and no calm in between. Teresa thought she was holding it together. The red made her feel put together on the outside. But underneath, she was buzzing. There was no silence in her head. There was no soft landing in her day. Even hugs with her kid felt rushed. She wasn't being mean. She was just stuck in go mode 24/7. The red turned her into a walking signal. Always alert, always on, but not present. And that absence, it was costing her something deeper than she realized. Real wealth doesn't show up when you're broadcasting chaos. It shows up when your space feels steady enough to receive it. It's like trying to cook 5 pots on high heat at the same time on the same stove. Sure, things are moving, but nothing finishes well. Something always burns. Something always gets forgotten. And in the end, the kitchen's a mess. That's what layering too much fire energy does to your life. It creates activity, not abundance. And money doesn't like mess. It likes direction. It likes peace. She wasn't looking for deep wisdom. She was just on YouTube watching a Feng Shui stylist talk about summer elements. One line hit her. Too many fire tones on the body overstimulate the nervous system, creating action without grounding. That summed up everything. She didn't feel tired. She felt scrambled. And the fix wasn't to remove herself. It was to rebalance the signals she was sending. Teresa started slow. She picked one signal to change her nail color. Beige, earthy, soft. Then the lipstick, something more neutral. Then earring small stones, no color burst. Nothing extreme, just shifts. And the weirdest thing happened. Her thoughts slowed down. She started noticing the quiet again. She laughed at a joke on television. She felt herself land in her own skin. It wasn't about red being wrong. It was about finally giving her energy space to breathe. Stick to one red at a time. Pair it with earth tones, clay, tan, soft neutrals. Take red off by sunset to let your chi cool. A week later, she caught herself humming while folding towels. No rush, no edge, just peace. She looked down and smiled. Bare nails, soft tea, no red. Turns out, the power color isn't that powerful if it's powering a meltdown. Wealth isn't just what you wear. It's what your energy wears all day. If this part of Teresa's story hit home, if you've ever felt too wired, too tired, or too go, maybe this is your moment to shift too. Drop a comment below and share how you've used color to change your flow. We'd love to hear it seriously. This space isn't just for advice. It's for real stories from real homes, from people just like you. Some energy doesn't just clash. It builds without balance until your space, your body, and your flow feel stretched too thin to hold anything real. Teresa had thought red was the fix, so she kept it close. Every day felt like she was trying to stay ahead, but the truth was, she was just trying not to fall apart. Her calendar looked full, her phone never stopped, her clothes stayed polished. But on the inside, she felt dry. Not sad, not tired, just dehydrated. Like her energy had been running uphill in the heat for weeks. Like every room she stepped into took more than it gave. And the funny thing, Washer House was clean. Nothing was messy, but it wasn't peaceful either. It just felt too much. Feng Shui is never just about what you bring in. It's about what you balance. When red, fire, dominates your body and your space without any grounding from earth or cooling from water, you throw your inner chi off center. Especially in summer, when fire is already high, your colors need to cool, hold, and anchor the movement. Without that balance, the energy becomes overstimulated. And when energy runs too hot for too long, it breaks down the calm you need for money, clarity, and emotional peace. Your wealth chi doesn't stick. It doesn't circulate. It just keeps escaping through the tiniest cracks burnt out before it can settle. The air felt still but heavy. The light felt bright but sharp. And every good vibe routine started to feel like a performance. Teresa had lost her still point. She didn't feel grounded anymore, just activated. She ate standing up. She scrolled without noticing. She lost interest in her garden, in her books, in her own quiet. There was no crash, just disconnection. From herself, from the calm she used to create. And the more red she wore, the less she recognized what rest even looked like. She wasn't ignoring herself. She was forgetting how to land. Energy doesn't bring in money by moving faster. It attracts money by making space for it to stay. It's like running a heater in a car on a summer day. Even if the windows are down, the pressure builds. It makes everything foggy, sweaty, short-fused. That's what too much fire does inside a home, too. It doesn't scream chaos. It just slowly takes away your ability to relax. And when relaxation is gone, focus goes with it. Presence goes with it. So does cash flow. Because wealth doesn't enter noise, it follows stillness. Teresa heard it from a woman at her local farmer's market. An older seller with warm hands and clear eyes. "You've got too much red in your field," she said, pointing at Teresa's coral tank top and gold hoops. "You need something that breathes, something earth, something soft." It wasn't scientific, but it made more sense than anything she'd Googled in weeks. So she started paying attention, not to symptoms, but to temperature. And color was at the center of it. She made the first swap on a Wednesday. Soft beige pants. A gray-blue linen scarf. No red, not even in her earrings. Then she added small grounding details to her entryway. A ceramic bowl, river stones, a tiny wooden tray for her keys. She stopped burning cinnamon oil. Started diffusing peppermint instead. By Friday, the edge in her week had softened. Not fixed, just less sharp. Less scrambled. The rooms felt slower. The light didn't press as hard. And her thoughts stopped bouncing like marbles on a hardwood floor. Don't cut red, cool it. Add grounding earth tones, beige, brown, clay. Use soft fabrics like linen, cotton. Anchor fire with a touch of water, bowl of pebbles, peppermint scent, a blue cloth. On Sunday, while folding laundry, she held up her old red top. It didn't feel wrong. It just didn't feel needed. She folded it gently and placed it at the bottom of the drawer. Turns out, the problem wasn't red. It was acting like she was a one-woman bonfire. Real wealth doesn't burn through your life. It warms it slow, steady, and on purpose. Sometimes it's not about what you wear. It's about where your energy lands, and how that energy keeps bouncing back louder than before. Teresa had a system. Outfit done by 8 o'clock. Coffee ready. Laptop open. Every workday looked organized from the outside. But she couldn't ignore the feeling, like her mind kept skipping tracks, even when the room was quiet. She'd get halfway through a budget sheet and forget what she was tracking. Double-check an email she swore she'd already sent. Break focus mid-sentence over and over again. At first, she blamed the heat, then the light, then burnout. But something else was happening. The energy around her workspace didn't feel like it used to. It felt too charged, too jumpy. Like it had its own pulse, and it didn't match hers. In Feng Shui, electronics already carry high-yang energy fast, sharp, stimulating. They move in bursts. They create invisible noise. When red is added to that mix through clothing, lipstick, accessories, it amplifies that speed. Instead of helping you focus, it overactivates your mental energy. That causes restlessness, mental fatigue, and loss of clarity. Cash tasks feel overwhelming. Money management becomes scattered. And when energy keeps pinging between your body, your clothes, and the machine in front of you, you're not grounded. You're wired. The screen felt brighter. The room felt smaller. Even the cursor blinking on the monitor felt aggressive. Teresa wasn't feeling like herself. She couldn't sit still, couldn't finish a full task without grabbing her phone or checking something random. And when she did try to slow down, her body wouldn't follow. Her stress wasn't loud. It was low level, constant, and slippery. It showed up in the background, as tension behind the eyes, as short fuses in long conversations, as scrolling through spending apps at 11:45 p.m. and forgetting what she was looking for. She had become hyper-available to noise, but emotionally unavailable to herself. Money doesn't flow through overstimulation. It flows through grounded attention. Picture a room filled with radios all turned on to different stations. None of them loud enough to scream, but all of them just strong enough to keep your brain chasing static. That's what her desk had become. Screens glowing, notifications pinging. And on top of that bright red, on her nails, on her shirt, on her mousepad, it was like feeding a fire and wondering why it wouldn't cool down. Feng Shui teaches us, you don't fight fire with more fire. You steady it with earth. Teresa came across it in a podcast she barely remembered clicking. The host mentioned how red paired with screens can overstimulate the nervous system and decrease task retention. It wasn't woo-woo. It was about the brain. Color and light create a chemical response. Too much red plus too much digital light equals too little regulation. And it explained everything. She didn't lack discipline. She lacked an energetic pause. She started with small swaps. Neutral blouse for work hours. Took off red earrings while budgeting. Moved her red planner off the desk. She placed a small bowl of earth-colored stones between her monitor and keyboard. Nothing fancy. Just something solid. Something still. Within days, she felt her breath go deeper. Her inbox looked less threatening. The numbers in her accounting software stopped jumping around in her mind. And the house felt quieter. Not because people stopped talking, but because her energy finally stopped shouting back. Avoid bright red near screens or money tasks. Add earth elements to tech spaces, ceramic, stone, wood. Use soft, natural tones during working hours. Unplug red chargers, red cases, red desk clutter. On Friday, she reached for her red blouse and then stopped. Not because she feared it, but because she no longer needed it. She chose soft gray instead. Opened the window, Saturday down, and got through 3 hours of work without once opening another tab. Red by itself wasn't the problem, but mixing it with Wi-Fi and spreadsheets? Might as well be caffeine in a blender. Wealth likes attention, not tension. The worst energy isn't loud. It's the kind that gets inside your breath, turns your calm into sharp edges, your love into short fuses, and your home into a space you want to walk out of. Teresa had one of those weeks, the kind where nothing huge goes wrong, but everything tiny feels like it matters too much. Late fees, missing socks, her kids' cereal spilled twice. One client canceled and another ghosted after hours of prep. By Thursday, her skin felt hot before she even got dressed. So she reached for red. Again. The bold shirt, the fire lipstick, the earrings that used to make her feel sharp. But halfway through the morning, her mood snapped. She overreacted at home. Everything felt loud, wrong, rushed. And it wasn't what anyone did. It was what she couldn't hold. Red had once felt like protection. Now it felt like fuel on a fire she couldn't turn off. Feng Shui doesn't just read the room. It reads the room through you. Red is an activator, a spark, a flame. When worn on days you're emotionally raw, it doesn't calm you. It inflames the very thing you're trying to manage. It pushes the energy out fast, hot, and often in the wrong direction. That kind of fire doesn't attract wealth. It burns through your patience. It evaporates your ability to receive. And when your inner space is on fire, your outer space mirrors it. Cash doesn't stay. Peace doesn't land. People pull away. The house felt brighter but harsher. The air felt dry. Every word from her mouth sounded like it came from someone who hadn't rested in days. Teresa wasn't angry. She was brittle. She kept trying to get back to center, but it was like the floor kept moving under her. She didn't feel seen, didn't feel supported. And she didn't even want to admit it out loud because everything looked fine. But her heart felt tired. And the red she put on that morning, it didn't help her feel powerful. It helped her hide the fact that she didn't feel okay. Wearing red while emotionally flooded was like holding a megaphone to her nervous system. She wasn't expressing. She was overexposing. Wealth needs safety to stay, and your energy can't feel safe if it's always in defense mode. It's like lighting a match when the stove is already leaking gas. Even a small spark becomes too much. That's what red did on her off days. It turned tension into fire. And instead of helping her move forward, it pushed everyone away, starting with her own ability to self-soothe. Feng Shui is about recognizing patterns. And knowing when you're not adding power, you're just adding pressure. Teresa came across an old Feng Shui article shared by someone she trusted. The line that stayed with her was, "Never wear fire colors when the fire's already inside you." She didn't need more information. She needed a reminder. Emotions are energy. colors amplify. If her energy was already shaky, red wasn't the answer. It was a spotlight on the very thing she needed to calm. The next day, she wore soft blue, left her lips bare, put on a pair of stone bead earrings from a gift shop years ago. She added a white bowl to her dining table with 3 grounding objects: a crystal, a wooden charm, and a small feather. No one noticed the shift, but she did. Her voice felt slower. Her thoughts moved like water, again not steam. She made it through the day without snapping, without spinning, without burning up the things she loved. Don't wear red when emotionally drained or frustrated. Choose water or earth tones instead: blue, gray, beige. Hold grounding objects like stone, wood, ceramic. Use peppermint, vetiver, or lavender to cool nervous energy. That weekend, while folding laundry, she found the red blouse at the top of the pile again. She didn't fold it. She didn't wear it. She just left it on the chair quietly waiting. Not as armor, not as blame, just as a color that didn't need to be part of her healing that day. Some outfits empower. Some just announce to the universe that you're one sock away from losing it. Real power doesn't come from pushing more. It comes from knowing when to soften. Wearing red isn't the problem, but wearing it when your energy is already stretched. That's where Feng Shui starts whispering louder. It's not about blaming color. It's about noticing how even something beautiful can overheat your space, scatter your money flow, and turn lucky energy into static. Feng Shui isn't magic. It's memory. Your space remembers what you carry. And when the fire runs too long, sometimes the deepest healing comes from cooling what's been burning quietly. Thanks for being here with us today. For sitting with the heat, the color, the little habits that quietly shift everything. We'll be back next time with another piece of energy most people overlook. Another layer of wealth that doesn't come from chasing, but from aligning. If this resonated with you, just drop the word fire in the comments. It's a quiet way of saying you're part of this shift. And it helps YouTube bring this kind of energy to others who might need it too. Take care of your flow. And if red still calls to you, just don't forget to ground it. Until next time, your space speaks. Wisdom listens.